as the Hornets continued their assault. From the window, I could see the inside of her house was absolute carnage. Furniture overturned, dishes shattered, her tiny yappy chihuahua running in frenzied circles, barking its lungs out. She darted toward her garden hose, fumbled with the nozzle, and turned it on herself in a desperate attempt to escape the hornet fury. Water blasted everywhere, soaking her from head to toe, but the hornets weren't done with her yet. She ran in circles, still flapping her arms like a deranged bird, before finally sprinting down the driveway, screaming for help. I had to bite my lip to keep from laughing out loud. The chaos had attracted the attention of the entire neighborhood. Porch lights flicked on. Curtains twitched as people peeked outside, some stepping onto their porches to witness the spectacle. And then, just when I thought things couldn't get any funnier, Karen grabbed her phone and called 911. I couldn't hear the conversation, but I could imagine it. "Yes, officer, I need help. My house is under attack." "No, not by burglars. By hornets." "Yes. A box full of hornets. Someone did this to me." Within minutes, the flashing lights of emergency vehicles illuminated the street. A fire truck, an ambulance, a police car. A team of firefighters rushed toward Karen's house, trying to figure out exactly how one woman had managed to create a biohazard situation in the middle of a quiet suburban neighborhood. Meanwhile, Karen stood on the curb, soaked, covered in welts, her hair an absolute disaster, shaking with rage as she pointed at my house. Oh boy! The police officer walked up my driveway, giving me a suspicious look. "Sir, your neighbor claims you booby-trapped a package with hornets." I did my best to look shocked. "What? No way. That's insane. Who would do something like that?" The officer squinted at me, clearly not buying my act. "Do you have any idea how this happened?" I hesitated for a second, then shrugged. "Well, I did hear she's been stealing a lot of packages lately. Maybe someone finally got fed up?" Karen shrieked from across the street. "It was him. It was him. He did this." The officer sighed, clearly regretting his career choices. "Do you have any proof?" Karen sputtered. He has cameras. His doorbell camera. Check it." The officer turned back to me. "Do you mind if we take a look?" I nodded, keeping my expression neutral. "Of course, officer." I played the footage, watching as Karen's face turned from rage to pure horror as she realized she had just implicated herself. There, in crystal-clear HD, was undeniable proof that she had stolen my package before disaster struck. The officer stared at the screen for a long moment, then turned back to Karen. "So, you're admitting you stole the package?" Karen's mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air. She knew she was caught. The officer sighed. "Ma'am, you're lucky we have bigger things to deal with right now. But I suggest you stop taking things that don't belong to you." Karen looked like she was about to explode, but she stayed silent. She had no choice. I watched as the firefighters worked to clear the hornets from her house, shaking my head in mock sympathy. Poor Karen. She had wanted to steal my package. Too bad she got exactly what she deserved instead. Karen wasn't going to let this go. I could see it in the way she stood there, drenched from the garden hose, covered in welts, her fists clenched so tight that I thought she might explode from sheer rage alone. As the firefighters cleared the last of the hornets from her house, she didn't even acknowledge them. Her eyes were locked on me like I was the final boss in her personal villain origin story. I had won the battle, but I knew in that moment that Karen had declared war. The next morning, I woke up to find my trash cans overturned and garbage strewn across my front yard. The smell of rotten food hit me before I even stepped outside. Karen had struck back. I stared at the mess, shaking my head. She wasn't even trying to be subtle about it. I grabbed my phone, opened my doorbell camera app, and sure enough, there she was at 2:45 a.m., creeping across my lawn like a gremlin, giggling to herself as she dumped bags of food scraps all over my driveway. I wasn't even mad. If anything, I was impressed by her commitment to pettiness. But two could play this game. I cleaned up the mess without a word, not giving her the satisfaction of a reaction. That only made her more desperate. The next day, my internet mysteriously started cutting out at random intervals. At first, I thought it was just a technical issue, but when I checked the side of my house, I found that someone, I wonder who, had tampered with my router, pulling out a few key wires just enough to mess with the connection. Then came the HOA complaints. Suddenly, I was getting emails about noise violations from my non-existent loud parties, parking violations for a car I didn't even own, and an official warning about aggressive behavior toward my neighbors. Karen had gone full scorched earth mode, weaponizing every suburban rule in an attempt to make my life miserable. That's when I realized she wasn't just looking for revenge, she was trying to break me. I needed to end this. I sat down with Mark, explaining everything that had happened over the last few days. He listened with a grin, shaking his head. She's losing it, man. You really got under her skin. She won't stop until she thinks she's won, I said. So we need to make sure she knows she's lost. Mark leaned back in his chair, cracking his knuckles. All right. What's the plan? I had to think big. Bigger than Hornets. Bigger than trash attacks. I needed something that would make Karen rethink her entire life. Something so catastrophic that she would never, ever dare to mess with me again. That's when I remembered a certain viral video I had seen a while back. One involving a very special kind of revenge. Glitter bomb, I said. Mark's eyes lit up. Oh, hell yes. We got to work immediately. Mark had some engineering skills, and with a few hours of work, we built the perfect device. A fake Amazon package, filled to the brim with industrial-strength glitter, set to explode the moment the box was opened. But that wasn't all. We also installed a fart spray mechanism, one that would release an unbearable stench in timed intervals, ensuring that Karen's house would smell like a combination of sewage and rotting eggs for days. And just to add insult to injury, we included a tiny speaker that would play a pre-recorded message the second the package detonated. Congratulations, package thief. It was a masterpiece. I placed the package on my porch in the early afternoon, right in view of Karen's security camera. She wouldn't be able to resist. I even went the extra mile, labeling it as something that looked valuable, high-definition home security camera system. The irony was too perfect. Sure enough, I barely had to wait 2 hours before Karen took the bait. I was in my living room when I saw the motion alert pop up on my phone. I opened the live feed and there she was, practically vibrating with excitement as she rushed over, grabbed the box, and hurried back inside. I held my breath. And then, the moment of truth. Through the camera footage, I saw the briefest flicker of movement through her window. She was inside. She was opening it. Boom. A mushroom cloud of glitter erupted like a bomb had gone off. The door to Karen's house flew open as she staggered outside, her entire upper body covered in shimmering, impossible-to-remove specks of pink, blue, and gold. She let out a scream of pure, unfiltered rage, frantically brushing at her hair, her clothes, her face, only making it worse as the glitter embedded itself deeper. Then came the fart spray. Her scream turned into a gag. She stumbled, dry-heaving, as the putrid smell filled the air. Then, the final touch. The speaker crackled to life. Congratulations, package thief. Karen let out a sound that I can only describe as a banshee wail before running back inside, slamming the door behind her. It wasn't over. The glitter bomb had been designed to disperse a second round of fine, almost invisible dust, so when she moved, touched anything, or even breathed too hard, the glitter spread further, coating every surface it touched. Every step she took only ensured that the nightmare wouldn't end for weeks. I watched as she flailed around through her window, stomping and thrashing, her tiny chihuahua barking in a complete panic as it, too, became a glitter-covered victim in her self-inflicted disaster. The neighborhood group chat exploded. People had seen it. Someone had even managed to record it. And within hours, Karen was the talk of the town. Her downfall came fast. The HOA, already sick of her antics, had been looking for a reason to shut her down for good. The footage sealed the deal. Multiple neighbors came forward with their own stolen package complaints, and the HOA finally decided enough was enough. She was fined, publicly shamed, and worst of all, completely humiliated. A week later, a moving truck pulled into Karen's driveway. She was leaving. The neighborhood watched as she packed her things, still faintly glittery, her face permanently frozen in a look of seething humiliation. No one offered to help. No one said goodbye. By the time the truck pulled away, taking Karen and her reign of terror with it, the street felt lighter. Peaceful. That night, Mark and I sat on my porch, sipping beers as we watched the sunset. "Well," he said, raising his bottle, "you did it." "I did," I agreed, clinking my bottle against his. No more stolen packages. No more HOA complaints. No more Karen. We sat in silence for a moment, enjoying the quiet. Then, I heard the familiar sound of a delivery truck pulling up to my house. I stood up, watching as the driver placed a box on my porch. My actual package. Untouched. Victory had never felt so sweet.